Hello, hello, everybody. Happy Monday, October 16th, 2023, and we are going over the Summer Wells theories. And today we're going to get into which theories make sense and which ones don't. Let me say hi to everybody in the chat. Thank you so much, Kimberly, for the $5 super chat. That is so nice of you. Thank you so much. See if my chat's going to work today. I'm glad y'all are here. So I've been watching a lot of stuff going um, on the YouTube streets lately. You know, we have Don saying he's not going to uh, go on any panels anymore. It kind of seems like every time he does, either the creator uh, gets in trouble personally, White Boy Radio, as an example, or says something that's outrageous or has done things that are outrageous. But shares, that was the one channel I think that Don specifically felt more comfortable than anyone being open, more open than normal. So I guess that's a wrap. And that's I don't know, maybe something is going on. He said something, or something is going on in the background. And I do feel like personally and spiritually that there is something going on. And I think a lot of other people agree. That's just my opinion. Yeah, thank you. I am tired as it gets with this new baby, but I loves him. We all love him to death, and we are grateful that we can be tired and stay up all night feeding and changing diapers. We're grateful. Again, Kimberly, thank you for that super chat. Good to see you, Eliza Blue. I am looking forward to this too. We need to get to the nitty gritty of some of these theories. Some of these theories I have heard are so outrageous that we just gonna have to call it out for what it is and just stop it. Just stop it. Shani, so glad to see you, Julia T. Metal Clips. Thank you for being here. Um, I feel it too. Don can't help himself. He loves to talk. That is so true. He's got big Scorpio energy. I am married to a Scorpio. And typically, if they're going to say something, it's very intentional, even if it's a bunch of fluff. They do it on purpose. It isn't just to hear themselves talk. They do it to also for reason, whether it be, you know, stupid or not. The intro, yeah, I love this. I think she's from Sweden, the lady that does all of the music. I think it's Toll by So Below. Go check her out. She's awesome. I play a lot of her music on here. All right, so let's get into it. I want everybody who is here now on the live or watching the replay to put their theory into the chat or the comment section. I want to know what your theories are. Maybe there's something that I've never thought of or seen on YouTube that maybe you have something that could bring some light or some information you picked up along the way that makes you feel the way that you do about what happened to Summer Wells. Again, if you're new here, or have never heard of the Summer Wells case, Summer Utah Wells went missing on June 15th, 2021. The timeline is not exactly clear, but it was in the evening time or maybe even late afternoon. Dawn calls 911, the father, Don Wells, at 6:30 to report her missing. And I'm assuming that Candace Bly did as well on Grandis's phone, from what I remember. Um, she said that she was going for a walk, but that was what the dispatcher said, that the mom was going for a walk. She came back and Summer was gone. However, there's been some debate about that. The timeline has been insane and it doesn't make any sense. A lot of creators on YouTube spend a lot of time going over this timeline. Um, but I do want to point out personally, just right off the bat, that I feel like whether she was alive or not beforehand, because June 14th is always a possibility in people's minds that something happened the day before after CPS showed up, per Don Wells. I've always felt like 3 o'clock after 3 p.m. was a time, very crucial time, because everything after 3, after the Walgreens visit, is very hazy and doesn't make any sense at all. And it also removes Hunter from the picture from what he's saying because he was at home at around what 2 to 2:30. So, I feel like June 15th was a lot of alibis being created and some caveats that were thrown into the mix because things went sideways maybe. I don't know. Um, but Grandis is a very big part, in my opinion, of what I think that she was honest with Emma, with Crime Stories Obsessed. I think that she spilled out too much information because of what Candace Bly said about what she was doing and talking to Emma. So I think that she made a big oopsie. And then she goes on, Grandis goes on to the WJHL interview and boofs it horribly. She knows more. And we all know that they know more. So yeah, definitely want to hear your theories in the chat and of course in the comment section. So let me see what you guys have. Yeah. Yep, he's very Scorpio, an uninvolved one. Yeah. Yeah. There was a hitch in his get up, that's for sure in my opinion, and drugs will do that too. So sacrificed by a weird group, says Crystal. Okay, so maybe that's the angle of potentially the church or I don't know, something else. Just don't say Odinism because I'm going to scream. That is, with the Delphi case, I can't. It's so hard to even go there because of the Odinism aspect of the defense is thrown out that I cannot. I just can't. Owed a debt to someone, so she was sold maybe or retaliated against. All right, all right. The lack of evidence makes me think she went in the woods and got hurt. So she ran off on her own and got hurt. That's been a lot of people's theories, is that she really just hasn't been found yet. She ran off. Abuse and temper and disposal. Yeah, that is, honestly, the most unfortunate likely scenario. Now, I know it's been a while since I've been live, but if you know me, and I have gone over a case study, and I'm going to recap it very quickly today of the most common reason and who is the perpetrator of false alleged reported abductions where the child actually was harmed and disposed of by someone close to them, but it was reported as a abduction falsely. All right. Now, this is a very hard sector of crime to cover and to get the data, because I do believe personally, in my opinion, that parents harm their children more than it's ever exposed because they're the closest to the child. Abductions are rare. Typically, there is footage or something that says, hey, this is what happened to a child. There is some kind of tip off. But you do have those rare, abductions that just nobody saw anything. It was an opportunistic crime. And that's that. Hey, Chris, good to see you. Good to see you. The only one part of a theory, a head injury, hence the milk jugs, maybe. Yeah. That's a good point. The swimming hole or watering hole. She had an accident, slipped on some rocks. I don't lean towards that theory personally. because of the things that were leading up to Summer's um, disappearance. There were things that were going on that are indicators in that case study that I talk about that are dead ringers for what was going on in that home. And we'll go over it and you're going to be like, wow, wow. Um, now there has been theories about a bear or a animal in the woods going and taking Summer off. I've seen it in TikTok, I've seen it on YouTube, and I just want to say that I think that that is one of the most least likely scenarios because you would have some articles of clothing, most animals cannot digest clothes. They can't. Or you would have some kind of tip off somewhere, a scent leading to her, blood, things like that. So I just don't understand the whole animal took her away and that's why she can't be found and they ate all of her clothes. I just don't believe it. Sorry, I don't. Sorry. Lisa says hit and run, taken or lost in the hills. I mean, it's possible, but I don't see it. They cover 2 mile radius and probably more, you know, but it could be. Stranger things have happened. I think Dawn knew he was going to prison for abuse under 8 and got rid of her, and that's possible too. I lean more towards Candace, knowing exactly what happened and probably had more involvement due to the fact of other people um, explaining how she treated Summer specifically. And I know that there has been alleged abuse too on Don. I'm not giving him any passes. Believe me, he is just as damn guilty of neglect and not taking care of Summer and protecting her. But at least he's damn admitted it. Not that I'm giving him props for that, but he's admitted a lot more to his shortcomings than Candace Bly. That is a fact. Yeah, that study is like one of my favorite studies, y'all. It's just so underrated. Candace has lost every child she has ever had. That is correct. That is correct. That is a fact. Dad has admitted to SA on his stepsister. Correct. We always have to keep that in mind too, that he has admitted to it. But that also, on the flip side of that, somebody who does not want to be put in that light when his daughter is missing, and he's saying that somebody came up on that hill and abducted her. She's in some dungeon somewhere, trying to put this narrative out there that that's what he believes. And very quickly, mind you, I have a hard time believing that he would admit to something like that so openly, you know? And he didn't deny it right off the bat. He said we were, young. He was saying he is acknowledging that that happened, but he was also a victim. So that's where he is horribly wrong. But I would think that he would fight those. That's just common, in my opinion, when someone is, blamed for that. That's just me. It's black bears they have. They're not grizzlies. Black bears don't generally attack humans and they don't eat. They can't digest food, or excuse me, not food. They can't digest clothing. They can't break it down in their stomachs. I've researched this and I'll pull it up on the screen, to show you guys, but it's very rare, and it would hurt the animal. It's just not likely. There's going to be shredded, clothes, something. Thank you, Julia. Hey, Mr. Eve. He's with the baby for all the shit starters in the back. It's not like I don't have somebody with my child. You know how YouTube is. They're fucking nuts. They'll just say that you're abusing your child because they're not around. So let's get that straight. I already miss him. Yeah. Lucky mom, too. Lucky brother. We're just so happy. Chilling after a long day at work here in Scotland. Awesome. Yeah, they would have had to found a bloody mess if it were a bear. Lisa says, my parents lost us at 4 for a year, got counseling, and we were able to go back home, serve their time, grew up normal, except brother in prison for life. Our rich, judgmental grandmother ruined it. I'm sorry to hear that. But I'm glad that she got counseling and that you were able to go back home, and hopefully that was a good experience. Not everybody has that. So, so the big theme here that I'm seeing is that she's either lost somewhere in the woods, okay, or she was neglected and something happened and it's a cover up. That's what I'm kind of seeing. Good. I'm glad. I'm really glad. So let's get into my first theory that I wanted to discuss more than anything is um, the cremation. Now, I was watching Justin for All because he's doing a lot of coverage on, um, timelines and stuff, and they have a lot of information. And however you feel about creators, I'm to the point now where I don't care. I'm just reviewing what they're reviewing too and seeing what people are thinking of. I could care less about what anybody thinks about the creators right now, except for Benny Keys and Tiffany Murray. Fuck them. They can go eat shit. But, but and some other creators. But whatever. I don't personally think that cremation is possible. There's a lot to it. That would take a lot of effort. You would have at least there's more to it. It would have to be something that was done months before or maybe even weeks before to get away with something like that. And I just don't see it happening. But that was brought up yesterday in his chat. And I thought that that was a really good idea to go ahead and put that out there, that I'm not even going to go there either. I just don't think it's possible. That's just me. Yeah, there's so much ridiculous theorizing. Yeah. Yep. Before I jump in to the next one, I want to ask a question. It's a difficult one for me, but I have covered the Michael Vaughn case for over a year and very extensively. I have a playlist. I mean, I wasn't the most favorite person while covering it because I bucked the system on the parents. But do you guys feel that I should keep going with that content? Not the way that I presented the content, but covering Michael Vaughn's case and digging into not only the theory that was out there with the Wandras and all that, but everything. Should I start covering the Michael Vaughn case again? Put a 1 in the chat if you agree, and 2 if you really just think that I should leave it alone, um, and or you just don't have any opinion. Hey, Colin, I just want your opinion on that. I have a major theory on that one, and yes, please. Awesome. Robin Lane has a YouTube channel. I heard that. Yeah. She's an odd one. She's an odd one. But she reminds me of a family member that I have that is who's has Asperger's and a form of autism, and she kind of reminds me of that, kind of just socially awkward and things like that. But I can't say that she has that or anything. But it's always something that I keep in mind to not judge too harshly on. That's just me. And I'm going to put this picture of summer on my background real quick. 1 second. Tired of looking at the background that I have. Hold on. Yeah, but one in the chat if you think that I should keep covering it or leave it alone. Leave it alone, Eve. You've done enough. Ones, lots of ones. I'm so happy to hear that. I really am. Because Michael matters. Oh, I know your answer, Julia. I know. Yes, please. Awesome. All right. You got it. You got it. What was the question? If I should cover Michael Vaughn's case again. No, I know that you know that I know you're going to say yes, but I know that deep down you're like, oh, because I know that Mr. Eve saw what it has done to me, what people have um done to my channel and things like that, and the drama. So Robin Lane is one of life's Pollyannas. Doesn't want to look at the dark side, right? Um, one. Awesome. Well, Mr. Eve, too bad. The majority has spoken. All right. So, first one that I want to go over is the watering hole. Okay. And the reason for that is she was there allegedly from the videos. Hunter said that he saw her go under for 10 to 15 seconds, and that kind of theorizes that she got too hot in the car, and there's dry drowning theories and things like that, which is possible. It is actually a pretty good theory to get from, she was alive to not alive. A lot of people think that Summer Wells, excuse me, was alive. Um, in the picture in the video where she's propped up on some milk boxes. I'm gonna just admit that I disagree. Chris is like, no, we win, Mr. Eve, right? I mean, he does win at the end of the day. I do live here. I do have to consider Mr. Eve's thought. Um, he goes, I just know what happens behind the scenes, says Mr. Eve. I know. But it's already too far into it. At the same time, it's like it's too late. But I can cover it differently, and I can do it at a different perspective. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put out what I know to be true, and the opinions of my very strong opinions need to rein it back. And I think that I've done that pretty well. Now, not in the chats lately, not in these creators' chats, but that's another story. That's another story, and don't judge me too harshly if you see me. But watering hole. So I went to the watering hole in June of 2022 and recorded all of the terrain there. And if I can, I'm going to pull up the video of me going to that watering hole. And here's where I think, with the theory of that, if it happened, okay, if she got hurt and somehow she either died there or whatever it may be, and she died later in the car, one thing that I feel like is that Grandis was not there. So we have to think about, where was Grandis? Where was Grandis if she was not at the watering hole? All right. Where was she? Was she still at the hospital? Doubtful. Was she at home? I do believe that she was in the car in the milk jug video, or the backseat video. And I really want to get your opinion on what you think to be more likely than not. That's the most important thing. Yeah, you got to go with the hubs if he needs you to, right? Right. I do respect his opinion, that's for sure. Peace and Happiness says, hello, everyone. Can I ask you what you think about Jose and the people that came from upstate New York? Oh, yes. Jose mentioned during an interview about a time they were in Grandis' truck, Allie, him, Candace, and Hunter. Yeah. What I think about Jose, what I think is most important to focus on, besides all of the little thing, the opinions and what Jose saw, more so than anything, is that he said law enforcement came to him and questioned him about the parents, and that they're definitely looking at the parents and that they're involved. He said that on Justin for All, I believe, or I believe it was Justin for All's interview with him. So that's not the first time that I've heard that, or that we have heard that. If you can name somebody else, that would be great. Maybe somebody can enlighten us. But I do believe that that's the most important thing. So they were asking about I'm assuming their behaviors, what was going on during that time, probably what happened in October of 2020. You're gonna hear we're not gonna go over the, Enchanted Life Path crap about, um, what they heard on the phone call when 911 was called in October of 2020 about Jose and Don. Like, I believe that's what that call was, pretty sure. Uh, I don't I don't hear that, and even if we did hear that, it's really we can't confirm that without the transcript. We gotta get the transcript, you know what I mean? And I highly doubt that somebody would know more details about that if Summer was, you know, harmed in a very egregious manner. I just don't hear that. And plus, Candace sounds drunk as normal on a 911 call, right? And Summer was leaned up against Hunter, and Allie daughter was in the truck too. This made me wonder why Summer leaned up on Hunter, right? Well, that would put Hunter in the forefront of knowing that she was either not well or deceased, you know? And it doesn't look good when he has his mother, Allie, lying, saying that she saw Summer, but didn't. Well, maybe she did at another time. Maybe Grandis stayed with Allie and the grandmother at one point. Maybe she got a ride there. Maybe somebody picked her. I don't know. It's very hard to say. It's very hard to say, but we do know that they took Grandis's truck, right? Was there any other vehicles around besides Grandma's truck? Where was Don's truck? Where was Don's truck that day? Because he took the Subi. He took the Subaru to work, right? Where was Don's truck? Could they have taken separate cars potentially? Maybe. I don't know. Kimberly says, yes, keep covering Michael. I am taking everything in, I promise. I know. We're not going there. Chris says, I'm friends with Allie and the kids. Them kids looked at her like a sister. There are phone calls put out there of me, Allie, Mama Bear, and True. Take a listen. Yeah, Chris, is that you really? I sincerely didn't know that. I apologize. I did not know. Wow. Yeah. I'm like, any new news? No. These are all theories. We're going over theories. Um, what makes sense, what doesn't, right? Yeah. I've been trolled, that's for sure. Whatever became of Robin? Well, she's got that. She's had her YouTube channel. I went and looked here. I'm going to do this with you guys real quick. Before we get to the watering hole stuff. She has a YouTube channel, but it was started in October of 2021. What is it? Robin Lane. I don't want the microphone. Hold on. Filters. Channel. Thank you, Jesus. That's how I know it was her when she's thank you, Jesus. So hers started October 2021, I believe. October 6th. There it is. Y'all see it? Robin Lane. So she joined then. Her videos, from what I'm noticing, has been popping up recently, but she has been posting a lot of stuff over time. But let's see what the oldest one is. Yep, 1 year ago, breaking down the walls. Might have to go through this YouTube, y'all. Because, Robin is a theory. Did Robin and Dotson go and take her to a safer place? We don't know, right? But people are saying that that's a possibility. So I did not know she did 3 parts, but I don't want her to. We're gonna cover it. We'll get to the watering hole in a minute. I just want to watch this real quick because I sincerely haven't watched any of this.
Finding Summer Moon Utah Wells. From the day that you first went missing, the goal was to find you. That's all we could think of, is finding our precious little girl. Where could she be? That's still what we're doing right now. Yes, every single moment, there are people out there looking for you, whether it be the police or the TBI or just people who have seen your flyers. Yes, we are still looking, still searching for little Summer, and always will be until we find you. Wait, what is that? Oh, how many times have people approached me or sent me pictures, things that they thought looked like Summer, things that resembled her face. Oh wait, there's another little hint, a clue of Summer.
Okay. You know what this reminds me of? Julia T in the chat. You're going to know exactly what I'm talking about, more than likely. Do you remember when Novalis True Crime did the findmichaelvaughn.com website? And there was like Michael's face hiding behind the Find Michael Vaughn words. And like he was hiding, like there was a big stink. And I threw a fit, like it was some kind of a game. And I understand that it's because hide and seek in these child missing cases tend to come up because kids love to play hide and seek. And in a lot of people's minds, when they think of an abduction, like in the movies of a Lifetime movie or something like, on Discovery Crime or the ID channel, there's always a kid playing hide and seek and they snatch them. Boom, gone forever by a mean, bad predator. I don't personally appreciate that when they put it on websites like this or YouTube's videos like this, because that is not something to glorify. And secondly, it's very unlikely. Very unlikely. So it's just weird to me. That's just me personally. So this is what I was trying to get at, Julia T, specifically in chat. This is what this reminds me of. We're still looking. You're just hiding. We'll get you one day. We'll get you back. And I get the sentiment, but it's so unrealistic. And I feel like it's just for clout. You know what I mean? It's not real. That's not real life. They don't just go hiding for 2 years, 3 years, 20 years, and then you find them. They're going to be deceased more than likely. It's just not cool. I don't know. That's just me.
Something that seems like might be evidence of something wrong. I've gotten so many messages so many times, so many things that get my hopes up. Little Robin, what do you think about this? And my heart leaps for a split second, thinking, maybe, just maybe, this is it. There have been temptations at times to run wild, to take what evidence that I think I have in my hands and go crazy with it.
I wonder where this is.
Especially the evidence that seems like it was concealed. Something that just seems too strange. Could this possibly be it?
What in the
I
actual
just want to
hell?
run with it. And there have been
You know what's interesting? So, if you don't know when you're new here, I'm very spiritual. I do mediumship stuff. It is what it is. I don't put it on my channel very often anymore, if ever. So, just don't come at me. But I actually put my thumbnail as a rock today. And I don't know why I was so drawn to the Utah Rock Memorial for Summer, but that is very, very interesting and odd that that is all that's in here. I wonder where this is. I really want to know if anybody has any ideas. Rachel says, "Do you think we will get some answers on the 19th?" It's very specific. I've always said October 30th, and there's reasons for that. Ye old Twitter weasels for monkey. I explained that to them back in the day, but basically, I had a very, very vivid dream about eating Honey Nut Cheerios on October 30th and some big bad breaking news about Summer Wells and Michael both. Something happened. So I'm very interested to see what's going on that day. But I have no idea about the 19th. Is that when Dawn is going to court? The 19th?
times where I have to admit I kind of have. I run to the people who I think are supposed to be responsible for taking action. And sometimes they seem like they just do nothing. Sometimes they seem like they're just sitting around. And I think that I've really got something, but they just don't even really seem to listen. They just don't even really seem to pay any mind to it. And I just feel discouraged, hopeless. What do I do now? Oh, there's someone over there. Maybe they'll listen. Hey, can...
She just says, "There's somebody over there. Man, is this giving me Tim Mullen creepy vibes? Am I alone here? Put a 1 in the chat if this is giving you Tim Mullen manipulative, weird shit. 1. That's just me. Put 2 if you disagree or feel otherwise, but this is very weird.
Why do I even bother?
Why do I even bother? I'm assuming she was getting to the fact that there's no point. Nobody's listening. It's just the same old, no one's doing anything. Look, I don't know what she does to look for Summer other than the flyers. Flyers can only get you so far. And I've always said that. Flyers are just really honestly to keep the face out there in the thoughts, for people. And sometimes there is that one random person that's like, "Oh my God, I saw that kid 2 years ago," or a memory pops up or something. But very rarely do they actually, trigger something to bring a child home, especially if they're already deceased, right? It's never okay to say, "Why even bother?" Sure, out of frustration, I understand that, but while you're walking in a pasture with cows, okay. I just don't get it. So we're gonna hold off on the watering hole theory, obviously, because this is so interesting to me right now. We'll start with cult, church is saving her soul kind of thing, maybe some religious cult aspect. um, which makes me kind of wonder why did Candace call David Dotson and Robin? Why the church? right?
around the people who I think are supposed to be responsible for taking action. And sometimes they seem like they just do nothing. Sometimes they seem like they're just sitting around. And I think that I've really got something, but they just don't even really seem to listen. They just don't even really seem to pay any mind to it. And I just feel discouraged, hopeless. What do I do now? Oh, there's someone over there. Maybe they'll listen. Hey, can... Why do I even bother? Wait.
Well, I could understand not bothering a cow. It's a cow. You don't ask cows for advice on missing children. I don't know. Yeah.
Wait, what is this? Right there. Huh. Maybe there is still hope. I mean, the other
No
thing...
kidding.
Yeah, that... I don't even know why I was thinking that. That's just crazy. But this is a clue. It could go somewhere. Wait. Oh my goodness. This totally makes sense. This has got to be it.
Okay. This is mocking. This is blatant mocking. So I think what she's doing here is finding Summer and where people are going wrong. This is from a judgmental standpoint. She's narrating. Yeah, but she's coming from a place of a YouTube creator. Very Tim Mullen vibe. Brooke, thank you for being here, love. This is Robin Lane's new videos, the 3-parter, Finding Summer. We're on part 2. The first one was her going through a very rocky terrain. But yeah, now I get it. Okay. She's once again mocking the community.
Why did I not see this before? Forget the TBI. Forget them. No, we're going to go straight for a YouTuber. No, what? There's got to be somebody that can help. Somebody that will actually listen to me. Because...
There were times we were so afraid.
Unfortunately, I can't play that song because it's going to say, copyright strike or whatever, which I'm not monetizing this, but it'll still hit me. So go to Jesus. That's what she's saying. Go to Jesus. Jesus will bring her home. And he very may. Just go to Christ. All right. Because, yeah.
I'll read it later. You saying that we are...
I'm not going to be able to play it now. But, yeah. I see where she's doing. I see what she's doing. I get you, Robin. I'm glad that she's committed to her faith. But that's not what we're doing here. There are people who have helped solve cases from online. Now, is it all the time? No, but it has definitely helped and increased. Social media has definitely helped more so than we think. And to mock that. Yeah, okay, Robin, let's think about it like this. We could also use social media through Jesus to find Summer by asking hard questions, pointing out very odd behaviors. And these things that people do on social media with interviews and breaking down things, do y'all know how important it is for that data to be reviewed by scholars, people like Peter Hyatt, things like that? Those things are very important because people do review those things later. D.R. Coon's case is a perfect example. All right. Like, this is important stuff. It might not be the best thing to do sometimes. There might be creators that make horrific mistakes, and there's always going to be that. That's just the risky business of this. But there is a good reason for them to keep talking.
For the past 2 years. This didn't happen just once, but several times over the past 2 years, and with each becoming more and more discouraging, to think your prayers are finally being answered, and then it's all nothing. If God is a God of miracles, where is He now? Should I even bother praying? Is God even listening? The God who claims to love children so much, where are you? Does anyone else get angry? I can tell.
Yes. Yes, we do. Every day. Every day. There's a reason why people do this every day. And she knows that. But we all know that Robin believes, and Seventh-day Adventists believe that, depending on if baby girl was saved or not, and all of the circumstances within, she's either saved or she isn't. And she's just sleeping. She's just sleeping and waiting for the resurrection, which Dawn has said out loud before. So I would say that there is a probability of some kind that the reason why these people are involved in any way isn't necessarily what happened to Summer. They may have got a confession, potentially. I don't know. I'm not them, but their religion, they're using Summer Wells and the parents just as much as creators out there having them on their panel. They are using these two and exploiting the parents just as much. And I'm talking about Tim Mullen and the church. They're exploiting them and Summer just as much as any other person covering Summer Wells's case. They are. Because they're using religion as a crutch through them and this horrific tragedy of Summer to push more narrative. It doesn't matter about what your beliefs are. They're using it to their advantage to promote their beliefs. That is what everybody else is doing on this platform, with the exception of some are really just trying to get the facts out there, and that is it. Okay. Oh, yay. So glad. 19 months. Girl. Brooke, thank you for being here with me for that long. I know it ain't easy. Who is someone named Brandon? Oh, Brandon Lawson. Yeah, we'll get into that. It's just so bizarre.
Tell you that God does. Brothers and sisters, there is nothing that burdens God's heart more than seeing innocent children who are neglected, abandoned, abused, used, especially used for selfish gain or sinful, demonic purposes that are beyond evil, unimaginable. We know how God feels about the people who do these things to children. Yes, God loves everyone, but Jesus said that He would rather a millstone be hung around their necks and be tossed into the depths of the sea than to offend one of these little ones. And why does God say that? I'll tell you why. Because the flames that will consume them will be far worse than drowning.
No, she did not. No, she did not. Let me go back. Hold up.
I'll tell you why. Because the flames that will consume them will be far worse than drowning. And the results of that fire will last for all eternity. The Bible says, for the wages of sin is death. That is eternal death. Death that lasts for all eternity. You see,
What does that even mean to me? Okay. Death that lasts for all eternity. Well, in the Seventh Day Adventist, you were resurrected to Jesus Christ, right? When you were called out of the grave, you're just in a zombie sleep-like state. So I guess I understand that. From a spiritual side of things, I don't understand why that is the narrative for the life you're living now. If she is deceased, her death is also eternal on this earth. Like, I get her spiritual side. Put that away for a second. Baby girl is probably more than likely statistically deceased. Okay. That other stuff will happen when it happens. So we get you. We've heard it 100 times from these people. But her justice matters now here for some of us. No matter what you think or who should be forgiven surrounding her through Christ. Because that's not my business. That's Christ's business. I want justice for this baby just like everybody else. So this is what I get very irritated with. Personally, this kind of stuff.
most people believe that when we die, we experience eternal torment. People will literally burn and be tormented forever. That is not what the Bible says, friends. The consequences of the fire will be eternal. The death will be eternal, but not the torment.
Is that the same color of the flower that allegedly Grandis picked or almost picked or was looking at the watering hole? So what I'm getting from this, which is very ironic, very odd that I started out with a watering hole and then we decided to play this. I have a rock on my thumbnail. That was what was starting in the video of hers. And now she's hinting about drowning, internal flames. This looks like the TikTok of Candace and the flowers, right? I'm almost positive. Hold on. I think I have a recording of this too, because they did grow. Like these grew all over the place over there. I'm going to look for it. Evil Exists. Thank you. I have to credit Evil Exists. Let's take a look-see. So it actually worked out.
After going through past interviews, it makes sense to me that Grandis was not at the swimming hole. If she was with him, then I'm
Same.
not convinced she ever got out of the car and went down to where Hunter, Candace, and Summer were. Now, I've noticed something interesting about the way Candace recalls the 15th June 2021. It seems she adds in extra details when trying to convince someone of her version of events. If you remember at the very beginning, many of us found it so unusual that she added in so many small details like Summer washed her hands, got candy from Grandis, walked her halfway to the house, for doing so. So, more added in random details, in order to convince.
Boom. All right. So I'm not saying or putting words in Robin Lane's mouth. What I am deducing from the video that she is playing, these 3 parts and the imagery in them, she is referencing, in my opinion, a ton of what a theory that a lot of us had about the watering hole and having an accident and drowning was potentially maybe how she feels. Maybe that's her theory. Maybe that's what somebody may have hinted at that's close to her and Summer, right? So it did work out. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. But the eternal death, she's worried about what Robin is saying here is that she's worried about the long-term effects. Is it about Summer's soul? And why would she feel that way about a little girl? Is there something referencing not being able to acknowledge Christ at a young age or being taught Christ at a young age that damns them? I don't know the full extent of Seventh-day Adventists and what they believe in lost souls, like someone inept or unable. I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But very, very interesting that she's worried about the eternal damnation of fire compared to finding Summer and getting justice, in my opinion. What do you think in the chat? I want to see some comments.
Torment. The fire will consume them and they will die. The torment will end when they perish. Even in John 3:16, it says, "Whosoever believes in him will not perish, but have everlasting life." You see, there are only 2 options. We either perish or we have everlasting life.
So, like I just said, she's worried about that everlasting life on the other side when the resurrection comes and the children from the graves. You've seen the picture. The children everybody's rising from the dead and going up to Jesus in the kingdom of heaven. Very concerned about that. And I get it. That's the religious part. But in my opinion, as above, so below. And justice matters, especially when you use those things that come from a child's current physical justice and case to help others. I think Christ would want you to have that in the future, right? Not just what you can offer on the other side. That's just me. Or why the hell are we here anyway? Is she sending a message to someone she thinks has harmed Summer? Says Liza Blue, right? Maybe. I think she's trying to explain what's the most important, but also hinting to what she believes or maybe has been told, potentially, maybe, through God or Dawn, I don't know, whatever. What happened to her? Look at the flowers right here. Look at what she said or listen to what she said earlier. Drowning, eternal flames, da-da-da-da. Weird.
There is no third option for eternal life in hell. We either live for eternity or we die for eternity. And I have to admit it, in my sinful human heart, I'll be honest, when I think about people hurting children and torturing children, it's my wish that they would burn forever. 1,000 years on one side, flip them over and burn 1,000 years on the other side. When they get nice and toasty, screaming in agony, flip them over for another millennium, let them roast again.
I mean, she took it like an extra step, but right? Hey, me and Robin agree. Anybody that hurts a child, roast them, toast them, flip them, do it again. I'm all for it. Believe that. But that was very odd.
Honestly, that sounds horrible, and yet that's how humans interpret hell to be. That is not how God operates. God is way more merciful than I am. God
The Bible says otherwise. He's a vengeful, wrathful God. But I digress.
I'm so glad I'm not God. God would be a tyrant to do that, friends. But yet, this is how most people view God. And this is why so many people reject God. No, we serve a loving God, a God who will judge with justice. Please, dear Lord.
I'm really sorry. I cannot do the indoctrination. Sorry. I don't disrespect anybody's beliefs. I just personally can't do it anymore. So, very interesting that there was some watering hole innuendos, if you will. Now, I did a video back in the day, as many creators have done, about the watering hole. You have a TikTok from there with Hunter. Hunter says that, he saw her go under for 10 to 50 seconds. He threw his shirt off and went in there, but he already had his shirt off. Some people say her hair wasn't wet in the video, so how could he have done that? There's so many different, theories. But here's what's important. It's not about the theory necessarily. What would make you cover up a crime if the theory that Summer Wells went under and drowned or hit her head on a rock? The reason for a cover up is to cover up a crime that would put you and your freedom in jeopardy, or the lives of others around you in jeopardy, like your other kids. CPS, there was already an open investigation. So my question is, why would you cover up an accident at this watering hole? And Hunter does not mention any specific details about Grandis being at that watering hole. So that's where I'm getting at. It's not about the little things that you're going to pick up that maybe Hunter got wrong, or Candace, whatever it is. The point is why cover up a accident? Why? You wouldn't cover for a teenage boy for no reason when it's your own child, unless there was something worth covering in their minds. And I don't even think being high or under the influence would be enough, in my opinion. I still don't think that would be enough to try to cover up something like that. You would still want to go save your child. Right? So this is where I have an issue with the watering hole. It's still possible. It's still on my top 3 scenarios, probably number 3. Okay. But I just cannot understand why lie about Grandis being there. Where was she? If she wasn't there, I don't believe she was there because of what she said. It was at the watering hole or horse stables, I believe. Right? The way she was acting in that interview was weird as hell, and we all know it. Took a nap. When did she take a nap? Right? Let's review this real quickly. Hey, Whistle. Glad you're here. Sounds like Robin has some divine knowledge. She might. Dawn definitely likes to preach a lot. And I do feel like that's Tim and Robin in his ear. I do.
Another story at 6. Day 2 in a planned search for missing 6-year-old Summer Wells is now over.
The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation said teams scaled previously identified points of interest in Hawkins County. The agency says much of the area where Summer disappeared requires extra time to search thoroughly. They say it's extremely steep and dangerous. News Channel 11's Ansley Daniels spoke with Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson, the lead investigator in the case.
Yeah, Ansley, the sheriff told you today that Summer's family now currently is not cooperating with law enforcement?
That's exactly right, Josh and Sarah. He also told me that the family has attorneys. Now, he did tell me that he didn't want to speak any further on the matter, but I did have the chance to speak with Summer Wells' mother and grandmother at the home where she disappeared earlier today. And her grandmother told me that she wanted to address the sheriff's comments about them not cooperating, as well as whether or not they have an attorney. And this was the first time that we have spoken with her on camera since her granddaughter went missing.
You know, I just realized that this was at the Mount Carmel Baptist Church. I don't know why it's specific. I guess that's where they had the interview with Ronnie Lawson. That, you know what? There might be something to that. I'll check and make sure that that's where he was interviewed.
Mr. Lawson stated that Candace and the whole family is lawyered up. I can't speak for Donnie, and I know Candace hasn't because she's told me she hasn't, and I have not. If law enforcement wants to talk to me, TBI wants to talk to me, they have my phone number. They know when I leave the state. They know when I'm here.
Summer Wells' grandmother, Candace Hare, says she hasn't spoken with law enforcement since December 13th.
They have not contacted me since the YouTubers were down here in the driveway, and we asked them about trespassing.
Summer's grandma was with her granddaughter all day on June 15th, the day she disappeared. She walked me through what they did that day and said she and Summer were repotting cactus plants outside of her camper, and then
Summer came in and had a piece of peppermint, which is her favorite, and then she went in. She said, "Mama, I want to go play with the boys." Candy walked her back to the house, and she asked the boys to keep an eye on her, and that's the last time I seen her.
as the 9-month mark of when her granddaughter
Oh, and man, it's just so scripted. That was the last time I saw her. But you didn't see her go into the house and Candace telling the boys to watch her. You didn't see that. That's what you heard. You saw her last getting a piece of candy and leaving. She's reiterating a story that's been told, and we all know it.
was reported missing approaches, she says the social media and online rumors have to stop.
If they want to help, that's great. But if they want to spread lies, that's a different story. Because that's all they're doing now is spreading lies. They're reaching and trying to figure out what lie can we spread now. And I'm tired of it.
Now, Summer's mother, Candace Bly, did not want to go on camera. However, she did write this statement for us on my notepad. You see it right there on your screen as well. It says, "I've never stopped talking to law enforcement. No, I have not lawyered up. I don't understand why this is being said. I can't speak for Dawn, and we are willing to do whatever to bring our daughter Summer home. Thanks for all the searchers." Now, she also did not want to address her new YouTube channel, Dr. Phil, or anything other than the comments by the sheriff made earlier today. However, she and her mother, Summer's grandmother, wanted me to reiterate how thankful they were for the searchers who are still out looking for Summer, as well as law enforcement for still keeping this investigation open and fresh. Live in Beech Creek, Ansley Daniel, News Channel 11.
Ansley, thank you.
All right. She can't speak for Don, her own husband, even if they were in cahoots and he was in jail. You don't know that? Damn lie. We know he had an attorney. And we know that they both had attorneys for the CPS with the boys. We know that. I've proven that on my channel before. They have said it. So to news outlets, they've said that. And it's been reported on. So they did have attorneys. Now, they might not be thinking of it in a sense of, oh, we got like private attorneys that handle criminal cases against Summer, but y'all had attorneys nonetheless, which if what they're saying over there in Hawkins County is true, law enforcement, that the boys' CPS case bleeds into Summer's case, of course, the lawyers of the CPS debacle is going to tell you to shut up. That is not cooperating to Ronnie Lawson. That makes sense. And I think that is where all of the hoorah in the debacle is. I think that either way you look at it, they are not cooperating in Ronnie Lawson's eyes because they have lawyered up in a sense that they can't talk about specific things in Summer's case because of the boys. So CPS is a huge key here. I've always felt this way. I think CPS is the main reason for why the motive to get rid of Summer is why she's gone. I've always felt that way. That is my number one theory. And we'll get to that on another live because I am going over time, but I want to know about Ronnie Lawson. Let's look. I wanted to see if he was at the church. He is. Why were they at the damn church? I can't remember why. I never really noticed it, honestly.
New here at 5, an update to the investigation into Summer Wells' disappearance.
The Hawkins County Sheriff says the child's parents, Don Wells and Candace Bly, are not cooperating in this ongoing investigation.
And is the family still cooperating? I know you said, obviously, Don's there, but like the mother and all those other people, are they still cooperating?
No, they're not cooperating right now. They have attorneys.
Meanwhile, today marks the second day officials are putting boots back on the ground.
They have attorneys. They meaning plural, meaning both. Which would make sense that they would have attorneys because of the CPS case. Period. Good night, Rachel. Glad you're here. Thank you for stopping by, love. And I tend to believe, at least in this instance, as shady as this motherfucker is, and his son, excuse my language, I do believe he was saying they have attorneys because of the CPS case.
Searching for answers after Summer's disappearance. Yesterday we told you TBI agents and Hawkins County deputies were near Summer's home in the Beech Creek community, focusing on previously identified areas of interest.
We actually have not stopped looking for Summer. This is just another part of it that we are looking over some ground we've been on before and maybe some new ground we hadn't covered, and just trying to turn up anything we possibly can to find this little girl.
Summer was reported missing in June. The Amber Alert for her is still active.
Very interesting. Does anybody know why they did that interview and update at the Mount Carmel Baptist Church? Hi, Juniper's Tarot and Astrology. Love your work lately. Great stuff. I'm slowly getting into forensic astrology. It's so fascinating. Definitely go check out Juniper's Tarot and Astrology if you're interested. If one of the mods can put, well, Brooke, I think, is the only mod here today. If you could put her link in the chat, that'd be great. The Wells didn't, Kimberly Carter, the Walls didn't kill her. Is that one near their home? Yeah. So I believe that one is on Beech Creek Road, right? Julia T, forensic astrology is a study of specifics in placements that can tell you a lot about the details of a crime, basically, in layman's terms. "3711 Beach Creek Road, Rogersville, Tennessee." I just really am very interested in why they did that update there. I mean, they could have done it at the sheriff's office, they could have done it anywhere, but they always do it in some random ass area. Remember the horse going down the road? I don't know why they do this, but I think it might have been a message. And you know why I think that? It's because I do believe that these are the little areas that they caught, but potentially, maybe with geofencing data and stuff like that, that they were over here. Fields Road has always been an interest of mine for sure, because I always look at places that dump out into nothing. Those are the important areas, the roads, because that's where you're going to go. That's, you know, and there's Ben Hill right there. Makes a lot of sense. Maybe that was a little hint like, hey, we know it's around here. I don't know. I could be talking out of my ass. I don't know. But I did want to point something out to everybody about the theory of kind of jumping around here, but the theory of obviously Dawn and or Candace, which is my biggest theory, had to dispose of Summer due to X, Y, or Z. Really doesn't matter at this point, but CPS being the instigator of keeping the family unit together, if you will. That's just my opinion only. JLR, I know not a lot of people are happy with JLR or fans of JLR, and that's okay. Like I said before, it doesn't matter about the feelings or opinions of that. It's about what they find, what they have acquired. I can't say that he spoke to or got an email from an actual neighbor, but he reported that he got an email from I believe his name was Jason from Beach Creek, that said, hey, I saw, or they saw, Candace at 345 on Beach Creek Road that day, and Beach Creek Road dumps out into nothingness, into the mountains. Now, I followed up with JLR in a text message because we have messaged each other before about Michael Vaughn's case, and he hadn't responded to me, but I said, I wanted to make sure that this is credible. Could you please reiterate that this is true? He hadn't responded to me yet. Dude's busy, I get it. But I do believe that this guy is who he says he is and that the email is legit, because I looked up the guy and he is part of Beach Creek Road, and the people that he lives around, okay, are people that have been brought up as either someone who has known the Wells or has done some shady shit, okay, in their past. You know, and that includes being surrounded by Lights, Crawfords, and things like that. All right. So I think his name is Jason. But they saw Candace on that road at 345. That's why I think 3 o'clock beyond is crucial. After that Walgreens trip, crucial. I do believe that potentially, Dawn and or maybe somebody else too, were hustling. Because Fred Hill said he saw Dawn on that property that day around 3. And I think that that's why there's the rumor that Candace was at the home twice. Looking ass. Went home twice looking ass. I do believe that. I do. Can't prove it, obviously. But a lot of people are saying that they see both Candace and Dawn around after 3 o'clock at the house. I want to know where Dawn's truck was. We all do, right? He was driving it. What other vehicles were mobile on that property that are no longer there now? Did law enforcement potentially grab all of the vehicles out of that property? Did they ask for any specific ones? What about the bus that was on the property? That's gone too. Was it to clean up? Was it really to clean up? Or was there more to some of those things on the property? Because all of a sudden, one day you just start seeing all these vehicles roll out and everything on that property starts just to going. Right? Starlink didn't work that day. Right. Right. That's because it was an emotion. You can't just disable it. They can still track your ass. So you weren't using it, in my opinion. And I know Don had a work phone, as he said, and another phone. I guarantee you there's track phones all up in this case. Some that were missing and some that are recovered because of the search warrant. So these little things, okay, is why this theory of mine of Don and Candace being complicit is why I have it. These little things that you see in criminal cases, right? And here's the sad thing about all of this. If Summer is back here somewhere, how long is it really going to take to find her in this? And is it possible, and has it been done before, to move a child's deceased body over and over and over again to not be caught? Yes, I can tell you with 100% certainty that it is possible. And it has happened. And not only has it happened, but do we forget Harmony Montgomery's case? Harmony Montgomery, the most horrific thing I've ever read in my life, by the way, was toted around in bags, was toted around in a cooler, and her body was manipulated multiple times to be hidden and also be close to the perpetrator, her own father, who murdered her, who was severely addicted to drugs. So do not think for a second that covering up a crime of even their own child will stop them, or potentially stop others who know about it, who were complicit, from doing it. Doing maybe not that kind of severity, because that is a severe case, Harmony Montgomery's is. But don't think for a second that Adam Montgomery is an anomaly compared to these parents, and that they're not capable in some way, shape, or form to do the same in a different way. And really, they don't have to do it the way that Adam did that to Harmony, because they lived in a very suburban area that didn't have, in my opinion, and that they were really addicted to drugs. But I mean, he was shooting heroin up every day. But it is possible. Nunya Business says, how did Andy B get all of his drugs out of there? Great question. Well, Fred Hill said that he saw Andy parked in the truck. Now, meth heads can go into some schizophrenia from time to time, but Laura said it too, that she saw what Fred saw. There was also an alleged guy, Marlena Crawford's, I think, ex baby daddy or baby daddy was in his driveway with Candace. I mean, there's, that's weird if that's true. I don't know why he would lie. So I don't want to put all my eggs in the basket of this, but it's just so damn likely. So the next slide that I'll do, I'll reiterate on the case study that I talked about earlier, since we didn't have time to go over it. But if you haven't watched my case study on false reported abductions where parents murder their children or caretakers murder their children, you need to go look at it. I will put the link in the chat. It is so crucial. And when you watch the video and you see some of the similarities of Summer Wells's case and this case study, the people involved in Summer's case, it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. So I'll put that in the chat. And then we'll go over it in detail with specifically Summer Wells's case, because I actually have done it in multiple, more so Michael's case and Harmony Montgomery's case, and even Oakley's. So with that, guys, I'm going to get off of here and go take care of that baby and see and spend time with little Eve. The first version. But thank you for being here and covering this stuff with me. I did not expect to go over Robin Lane's YouTube, but wow. I'm so glad that I did, because I think that we may have discovered what her beliefs are of what happened. Maybe. All right. It's in the chat, guys. Go watch it. It's very important. Have a wonderful day. As you know, I say, drink your water. Spend your energy wisely in these YouTube streets. I got to clean up my act personally, so I'm there with you. Hug yourself. Hug your loved ones. Prayers for all of the innocent people who have been harmed in the Israeli-Hamas war. Be thankful and grateful for your friends and your family. Hug your babies. Hug your fur babies. Hug yourself. Have a great day, guys. And we need to find Summer Utah Wells.